Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL Without Borders. We are here with Gameweek 16 preview, and we took a break here. We haven't done a video in a couple of weeks. All of us had some personal commitments, and now that we have five AFCON transfers, we got back in, and we really wanted to go through a bit of a review of what we've learned so far from FPL and how why are we doing how we're doing and also looking forward how can we gain some rank boost considering the five transfers that we have and all the chips that are left, etc., etc. So welcome back, Puneet and Ahsan. And yeah, how is your FPL going in a nutshell? Number one, let's just share ranks as well. So I'm at rank 1.7 million, and I still, yeah, I don't think it matters right now. There's still a lot of time left, but yeah, there are points that I could have gained. What about you guys?
Yes, and your rank is very interesting because you've written current rank May. Please tell us.
I think that is the full extent of my explanation.
Makes sense.
Me, it's
So,
been very fluctuative. One step forward, two steps back. It's been very frustrating. I think I've jumped on players who have already hauled. Like I've missed the chance where they were differentials and missed their hauls. And for example, I think the biggest case would be Semenyo. I got him and he had already got his early, game week 5, 6, 7 points. After that, I think he's barely returned. And I've taken him out now. Similarly, people had Foden from a few game weeks ago, and they got it. So I think it's just been of picking the wrong players or picking the wrong players at the wrong time. So even though it's still 15 game weeks, we still have a lot of game weeks left. But I've realized that a few good game weeks can easily aid your rank. Like I had my wild card, and then uh, I was able to jump, I think, around 1 million to 2 million points just because I had a few good game weeks. So it's not over yet, but I do understand it's very frustrating that I haven't broken the below 1 million barrier like in 15 game weeks. So that says a lot.
yeah, I mean, for me as well, this is the
Yeah.
first or the second week where I'm below 1 million, but I had a very good week because of Bruno captaincy differential. So, I'm currently at 633k, and and uh, I agree with us, and I think it's too early. Shouldn't be looking too much, but yes, I think now consistent green ranks is something that you should aim for if you are now looking for how to build your team going forward. More than one third of the season is done. Uh,
Yep.
Picking up differentials or maybe even differential captains, even if the player is highly owned, is the way to think about it.
One of the things I was contemplating, just looking at some of the data till now for this season, is that before the season started, like I in my head there were some players which were non-negotiables. Like I decided that I will always keep them for the rest of the season as much as possible. And in my head, those players included Bruno Fernandes, Munoz, um, Gabriel. Like I think these three were like some of them. And because you have more transfers this season and more chips, for some reason I've just like gone away from them in the weeks they've hauled. And then now they're also like they're still in my team, but I've like missed a couple of hauls from them. And I think going back to the basics of what you sort of believe in, like the players you believe in, if you have a good backing for it, then I think you should stay with that. At least that's my learning for my personal way of playing. So I think, like for example, I missed Bruno's haul last week. I had Mbumo, and although Mbumo is also a good pick, but starting with start when I was starting the season, I knew that I wanted Mateta, I wanted Bruno for they were like mostly season keepers. And last week I just sold Mateta as well, and I'm like, hopefully he doesn't haul big, but his minutes were a risk regardless. So that's just my very high level understanding of what I've maybe done wrong this season. Um, any other learnings, guys?
I think you made a great point on the fact that when you start the season, you think of some like a Bruno, Haaland, Munoz, Gabriels are your players which you know. At the end of the season, you'll always see their names in top 10, top 15. It's just you shouldn't move away from them if they don't haul in. Like I know for Bruno, like for example, I also did not have him. I had him. I think I've had him 2 weeks ago, and before that, and I looked at the stats, and I think in the last 6 or 8 games, it's only been 1 or 2 game weeks. I think one was the Everton game, where we lost or United lost, was the game where, or 1 or 2 game weeks where he hasn't returned. So these are consistent players. Like at the end of the, again at the end of the season, if you think that they will be in the top 10, top 15 list, don't get feared out of them, or remove them for a shiny new toy in a way.
Yeah.
That's a really good learning.
Yeah, and like some of the
And
players you see are like massively overperforming as well, right? For
Oh yeah,
example,
yeah.
Gui, like expected points at 50, he scored 91 points. So I would think, okay, like maybe you can't chase these points, but Bruno, for example, expected points 83, he scored 85 points. So he's
Yeah,
doing as expected. So there's no point of like going against some of the core
true.
picks that I think you should hold all the time.
Arsan, if you remember, we discussed our wildcard, and I made two correct decisions in the sense that I had a Palace defender and had an Arsenal defender. The mistake was that that Palace defender was not Munoz or Gay, it was Richards. And the other mistake was that the Arsenal player was Timber and not Gabriel. That is, I
Yeah.
think, I think easily a 30 to 50 point swing.
Oh,
Wow.
more. I think even more than
Even
that.
Wow.
even more than that, because
Yeah.
Munoz had assisted a few times. He's had DEFCON, he's had clean sheets. A clean sheet I won't count because Richards had the same. He's had goals. Similarly,
Wow.
Gabriel had assist, bonus, and goals. So even though the decision to have a Palace player and an Arsenal player in my defense was correct, but just because of the fact that I wanted to, spread the budget and
Mm.
cover each ground, I made the mistake of not going with the highly owned player.
Yeah.
Like it's a basic thing, but going against the highly owned player did not work out in this instant. Like Timber was on paper, he's a very good substitute for Gabriel. There was a reason why I picked him because he practically plays as a right winger whenever Arsenal are going forward. He overlaps with Saka very well. He hasn't returned, like he hasn't had an assist, maybe just one or two, no goals. Uh, so yeah, that was kind of a bummer because I know a friend, he had Gabriel and Raya as his two picks on the wild card. He did it at the same window as me. So you can imagine like his
Mm,
rank climb was much more exponential than mine,
yeah.
even though I
Mm.
had the same set of players. So I think it's just that if you are playing a chip or if a player is highly owned, both are important for their own reasons. So I understand sometimes it's very important to just be template and boring because if you don't do that like I did it, so it gets tough to get those points back. Now Gabriel is injured, people are going to Van Dijk or going to Timber, but result you can't really get those points back. You just hope to get those similar kind of hauls in the future as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yep. Looking at the
Right.
some of the XG numbers, so if you see the like normal culprits, so Haaland, Mateta are on top as they were last season as well, and then Bruno is also in the mix. So Thiago has obviously racked up some XG because of his penalties as well. But yeah,
Yeah, actually a good way to, and I love this chart actually, and this is something which um, we should talk about a little more. A good way to look at this is people who have overperformed their XG and people who have underperformed. So I know for a fact that Semenyo overperformed even when initially he was scoring points, and Bruno was underperforming. Um, I think one learning we are all sort of gathering is if you have the funds, if you're playing your chips, if you are trying to catch hold of players or people who you know are going to do well because they are underperforming XG, keep hold of them because over a period of say 10, 15 matches, they will cover up those points.
yeah, the law of averages kicks in with the
Yeah,
larger sample size.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
And
Yeah.
Bruno still, you see, like he's still underperforming his XG. So, um, anyways, I
That'll be
just
very
bought him,
fun.
so I'm hoping for continued hauls.
So good
All right.
names from this list to kind of keep target on.
Moving on to some of the team stats, and we're looking at the season data here again. So the best attacking teams are, in terms of XG, are Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Chelsea. I'm Yeah, most people have some players from them. So Man City, everyone has like one or two players now. Foden, six price rises in 9 days. It's crazy. I haven't heard about that ever, I think. Man United still in the mix. So Bruno is now going on AFCON, but we'll have Cunha, Mason Mount maybe, or Sesko comes back into the attack. So those could be some of the picks. Um, from Arsenal, obviously, I think Saka is the best pick. After that, attacking wise, maybe as a I can't. Who else
Goals
do you
are
think
very
is an
spread.
Arsenal pick?
Goals are very spread. Like apart from Saka, you have
Yeah,
Martinelli chipping in, you have Marino chipping in. Maybe if Rice is fit, he will chip in. You have Eze. Yorkers is back in the mix. So I think having
Havertz
one
is
Saka,
closer to return as well.
yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see who plays up top because Marino has played there. Havertz obviously plays there, and Gyökeres is also there. So I think having one talisman as Saka in your team, and maybe you can just back the Arsenal
Mm,
defense if you're not sure which midfielder to bank on.
yeah, Crystal Palace. I think the attacking assets are just Sar and Mateta. Sar has gone to AFCON, so there's not much left. Some people are going towards Pino. But I am not too sure about that, to be honest. And even with Mateta and Kitia is now sharing minutes with him as they don't really have depth and they're playing a lot. So I don't know about that either. But Crystal Palace defense, one thing interesting I'll just show in the last graphic. Obviously, Gui and Munoz are getting a lot of like they're in this. Everyone's talking about them with 91 points or 89 points. But even if you see Lacra is still at 80 points, so there's not a massive difference between Lacra and Munoz. It's only 9 points, right? And you're paying 1 more million for Munoz. So there is something to just consider while buying if you're still in the market for a Crystal Palace player.
By the way, just got some news on Munoz. He has to have knee surgery, so I'm guessing he'll be out for a while.
Got it.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's an important.
So yeah, so
Who
he's an
else?
easy
Who's
sell.
his replacement? I think last
I
game.
think Klein played.
Klein,
Nathaniel
and he's
Klein played last.
3.8 or 3.9.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
So
oh.
he played the weekend game I think against Fulham, and
Hmm.
also I got someone has sent me news on 1 second on Arteta on Timber not being in the squad and Calafiori only being on the bench. They both had issues from the weekend, both really bad kicks. For Urian, it was too early, and for Calafiori, we have to manage to see if we can do some minutes tonight.
Interesting.
So yeah, Timber is
I
fully
think they'll
rested.
play, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he'll play because he cannot risk being complacent against Wolves because
Mm.
that's a very easy 3 points, and he would want a clean sheet at home also.
So Klein from Crystal Palace, he played 77 minutes in the last game,
Yeah,
Mm,
and
it was
then
his first start also, I think, against Fulham away.
he's
it
also
was the
34
first
years
start of the
old.
game. Yeah.
So I don't know if we should go there right now. Maybe wait one match, see his minutes, and then
Purely an enabler. If you've used your bench boost, you
yeah,
have 5 free transfers just to free up some funds. You can downgrade to a 3.8 and keep him as your last sub or something.
yeah. All right. So we talked about the best tagging teams. Chelsea. Any picks from Chelsea? I can't pick any pick honestly. Maybe
Palmer is
Neto.
back, so that's just to keep an eye. I mean, and again, Ahsan is the best person here on this
Did
Yeah,
call.
Palmer play yesterday? I don't think. Did he? I don't think he
no,
did.
he wasn't because his minutes are being managed. I actually, when we discussed the fixtures, I actually wrote myself that no Chelsea asset is worth
Yeah.
investing in because their form is very fluctuative. They beat Barca 3-0 at home. They drew with 10 men Arsenal but lost to Leeds, drew to Bournemouth, and lost to Atlanta. And there's too much rotation going on. Every match, at least 4 to 6 rotations. Every match, 4 to 6 changes. So you cannot
Yeah.
lock in Estevao, Garnacho because Neto and Gittins can start. Enzo is playing every game, but with Caicedo out, he's playing very deep because with
Mm,
Caicedo he has the freedom to go in that cam role. So I would
And
not touch. Like if you already have the assets, that's fine. You can start. But like I said, we'll discuss later on. I wouldn't be buying any.
Delap
And
is out,
to the
right?
listeners, this is coming from
Dilap is out, yes.
Essen's a Chelsea fan, so it's coming
Hmm.
from a Chelsea fan. He closely follows Chelsea. So cool. So that's in terms of the best attacks. Now let's look at the best. Let's look at the worst attacks, and you would look at it because of primarily which um, teams to target in terms of which defenders to play. So Burnley, Sunderland, Wolves, Fulham, Spurs, West Ham, they've had the worst XG this season. I don't think any of these come as a shocker. Spurs maybe is a bit of a shocker to me, especially after their transfer activity, but I don't think anything is coming to an attention. Anything to highlight here, guys? Worst
Oh, I
attacks?
was thinking of Bowen because after 18, they have Fulham, Brighton, Wolves, Forest, Tottenham,
Yeah,
Sunderland. So
I think there's
now
like I don't know. I don't trust him as much.
that's a,
I
yeah.
don't trust West Ham. I do trust him as a player.
Hmm. Fair point.
But anyways, all right. Best defenses. Again, no shockers here apart from Liverpool to me personally. But in terms of expected clean sheets, Arsenal, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Man City are top five. And I think most of the defenses top. Everyone has at least three defenders from these teams. So Arsenal, I am doubled up. Everyone has at least one. Then Liverpool, some people are with Van Dijk. I am avoiding Liverpool as a defense. Senesi is a very popular pick, and Newcastle as well. It's like people had Pope. He's injured right now, so
Yeah.
Ramsdale is playing. But overall, Thiaw or Burn, I think decent assets. Recently, they've been defensively a little worse, but overall season data says that they're a solid defense.
Arsalan on City, do you, if someone is picking a defender now, do they go O'Reilly or Guardiola?
Um, I think O'Reilly, especially with AFCON.
Yeah, Eight Nuri
Eight
going to
Nori
AFCON.
is
So
going to
it's
Yeah,
AFCON,
100%,
and
yeah?
then
yeah.
his ex- O'Reilly's defensive data is actually top three, I think, in terms of defenders.
Yeah. And he
Um,
offers a lot going forward. And even
True.
Guardiola playing as the left centre back is still very attacking. He's had two goals, I think, recently.
Hmm.
So, and I think Nico Riley and Guardiola actually complement each other. They have a good understanding. I'm sure Arsalan can agree.
yeah,
He's seen in the match that when one is bombing up and down the wings, the other stays back to offer that support, but still offers a lot going forward. Nico Riley is a very cheap pick compared to Guardiola. And with 8 Nouri gone to AFCON, I don't see anyone else playing a makeshift left back.
yeah. Maybe Ake can play a couple of games,
Yeah, but
but
I think
that's
he's
more about
very
it. Like
down the
Nico,
pecking order right now, and Pep
yeah,
is now very serious about trying to catch Arsenal. Like he has someone was writing that in his recent press conference he has that arrogance back, knowing that he can close down the points. So City defense,
Good
I
point.
think Guardiola, or if you have the funds, like if you're moving from Van Dijk, knowing that the Van Dijk transfer has not worked out, you can always move to maybe a Guardiola or a Nico O'Reilly.
I still think O'Reilly has he's been avoiding points. He's in the right
Yes,
spaces in
for
the
sure.
box, and
Yeah.
any day a massive haul could come from an attacking POV, to be honest. And defensively, although apart from the Fulham game, I think
Yeah, they've
obviously
been good.
Pep Guardiola, right? He knows that defensively we're shambles, and he's trying to fix it. And I think you could see in the last game. So in
Yeah.
terms of worst defenses, which means teams to attack, no shockers again. Burnley, West Ham, Wolves, Leeds, Nottingham, and Sunderland. This week we have a couple of good matchups, good teams, good attacking teams playing the worst defenses. So we'll talk about that coming up. UCL review. Essen, do you want to do a quick UCL review? Any points to highlight relevant to FPL?
Yeah, I think so. All three games took place yesterday, and three are taking place right now. Atlanta versus Chelsea was a pretty okay game. Atlanta were the better team, no doubt. They were trying to score. Chelsea were very defensive. I think four changes Maresca made, and he only the only attacking change he made was bringing on Garnacho. All three other changes were defensive changes. So, like I said, Chelsea players are not worth investing in. If you have them, you can start them versus Everton at home, but rotation, you can expect the squad to be rotated yet again. Like James is a very good asset. He had an assist for Joao Pedro, but at the same time he played the full game. So I don't think he starts against Everton at home. Similarly, Delap is injured, so you have Joao Pedro who can play up top, but you never know, he might start Gay at home. So nothing much from an FPL point of view in this game. Liverpool and Inter was 1-0. It was a very decent game, very attacking. Liverpool had a goal ruled out. I think Konate's header hit his own teammate's hand.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they had like a penalty awarded, and just because Salah obviously did not play, but Isaac was subbed off. I think that is the reason Soboslai took the penalty. Like I saw a lot of hype of Soboslai being on pens, but when I saw the game, I saw that Isaac was not on the pitch, even though Ekitike was. So obviously, when Salah's not there, which is now becoming very very common, he's been benched in the 3 or 4 games, I think. So Isaac will take the penalty. But then again, he's so expensive. I would
I don't
not
know
go.
if he's. I think that's something we'll get to know later, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
Szoboszlai has a very
it's a
very good penalty record,
Gyökeres
and he
and
also,
Saka saga.
he also takes all the free
For
kicks
Australia.
as well, and
Yeah,
he's a
Or even
good
his
penalty
country's
scorer.
penalty taker
Yeah,
yeah,
for
and
stuff.
captain also. So he is the man to, and he's been Liverpool's like without a doubt Liverpool's
Yes,
best
yeah,
player.
correct.
And
yeah,
one other thing in his favor is that now that Conor Bradley's back, him playing a makeshift right back, the chances are lower.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
so if you want a Liverpool asset, you can go there. And lastly, Spurs had Slavia at home. Richarlison played the game. He was subbed around 58 minutes, and he's been in very good form, but he did not score. Two penalties were awarded. Kudus took the first one, and even though Xavi Simons was there, but once Kudus was subbed off, they were awarded another penalty. So Xavi Simons took that because there's no Solanke, there's no Madison, there's no
Yeah.
Son. So and they were very good at home. But I think they have a mixed bag of fixtures. I really wouldn't want people like going to buy
Also,
Spurs.
the data that we shared in terms of the worst attacks, Spurs are like
Correct.
top four in terms of the worst
Yeah.
attacks. So I
So
don't trust them at the moment,
yeah,
and they're not like,
exactly.
there's no outstanding FPL pick from the team either.
And lastly, I think the fixtures happening right now, we were just discussing before we started the our discussion. For Arsenal, there are a few important lineup uh, notifications that we want to tell you guys. There's no Timber in the squad today. Calafiori has been benched. On both, Arteta said that they picked up knocks in the last game, so they need to rest. Similarly, Saka does not start, so if he comes through the game without any injury, he's a very standout captain option, fully rested versus Wolves at home. Similarly, Gyökeres starts up front with Martinelli. There's no Trossard, he's injured. There's no Rice also. He might be back for the weekend game, but we have to see what Arteta says in the press conference. One differential that you can get, especially if you're free hitting, is Hincapi, I think, because Mosquera is out, Saliba is out, and I think Gabriel's also out. I think he has that centre back option nailed. So
Nordegaard is playing center back today. That's like,
yeah,
Oh,
is this his first game of the season?
no, he
oh no,
played
he
early on, but
played,
he
yeah.
was, I think, yeah, he played early on in the friendlies. I think he's the Brentford's former
Yeah,
captain, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, so him Cappy you can get, and yeah, so I think the probably and City, like Arsalan said, are full strength. So because Pep does not take any game lightly, and I think
Hmm.
obviously they're playing Madrid, so you can't really be
Big
complacent.
game as well, yeah.
Also,
Very
like
big.
Arsenal is in a very different position from the UCL league table. They're sitting at the top, while City needs to win this game to get in the top eight,
Yeah,
and that's why
for the automatic
there's no
qualification.
risk to be taken. So Cherky, Foden, Doku, Haaland, all of them start, as well as O'Reilly and Guardiola.
Yeah, okay.
From a Newcastle point of view as well, I think they are playing their full strength
Good
team.
strength, yeah.
Yeah,
Barnes,
let me.
Voltemade, Gordon, all three start. Bruno G, Tonali, Joelinton.
Yeah,
They're
typical
basically playing
midfield.
full strength.
Yeah, full strength team. The only change probably is Ramsdale starting just because Pope is out.
Pope
Pope's
injury.
injured.
Yeah. All right.
Gordon
Let's
is
Yeah,
move.
Gordon is a pick, by the way. Like Gordon can be someone. I think you spoke about that Arslan on our group. Gordon is
Yeah.
someone which people can target
With Gordon, the only issue is I
because of
don't
his
understand
price.
his minute rotation. He just
Yeah,
gets benched random. All of them actually, apart from Multimatter, and even with Visa, I think I've heard he's closer to return. So
Mm.
in
He
a
has
couple of
returned.
weeks,
He was warming up in that at home game, but not sure if he got some minutes or not.
yeah, so he should be back soon. So anyways, Bruno G has been scoring as well. He's one of the top 10
Mm.
FPL scorers, so one to look out. So, and this is probably not the not a comprehensive list, but Rice, Mosquera, Saliba, Trossard are a question mark. Um, Mitoma is still out. Caicedo out. Muniz out. Muniz out is important because we'll talk about it, but Fulham's fixtures are nice, and a lot of people are going towards Harry Wilson or Raul Jimenez as well.
Mm.
Gakpo is still out, and obviously Salah is also still out. So Liverpool attacking options are limited, and I think it's maybe the minutes are more predictable now than they used to be. So
For
we'll talk about that.
Fulham, by the way, even Iwobi is going for AFCON, so that's also another reason.
Exactly. All right. So this chart is from Lego Money FPL. This is a hop on, hop off matrix, which basically tells you the blocks of fixtures to target
Yeah.
rather than individual fixtures. So if you see by blocks of fixtures, I mean, like Liverpool has two and two fixtures that are nice. Man City has a block of, let's say, five fixtures apart from Crystal Palace one that are green. So this basically tells you which teams to target in what area, and why we're talking about Fulham is basically they have a block of four fixtures that are targetable. So Crystal Palace at home, and then Burnley away, Forest at home, West Ham away. That's probably why a lot of people are going there. Any other teams you guys see that you think are have a good block of fixtures and people should be targeting them in terms of
I
who to bring in?
I've noticed that those who don't have Dewsbury Hall, what they're doing is they're trying to find a replacement for like a cheap midfielder, like the fifth spot, getting Wilson right now, and then moving him on to KDH because I think both are around a similar price point. Like you said, Iwobi and Chukwueze both will go to AFCON, so Wilson will
Mm.
have that right wing spot nailed. So you can have Wilson for his Burnley, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham fixtures, and just around that time you see Everton's fixtures turn good also. So you can just pivot from Wilson onto KDH and have him starting again. So I think similarly, one point to note, given these block of fixtures, we have five free transfers, and we have our second wild card available from Gameweek 20 as well. So
Hmm.
those looking for like a mini wild card and trying to delay their second wild card, they can actually look at these block of fixtures. Like this is from Gameweek 15 has already gone from 16 to 26, so 10 to 11 game weeks worth of block of fixtures. So either you can use their five free transfers for a mini wild card for this 8 to 10, 11 game week window, and then get your second wild card for the last like stretch of 10 or 12 games. So I think this will be really helpful to to utilize your five free transfers efficiently, because I think this is the first time this has happened. We have five free
Mm.
Hmm.
gifts, so you have that temptation to just make random transfers, but they can be used very smartly with these block of fixtures.
Yep.
I think I
And
want to
also
call out
go for it.
just one point on Newcastle. They play Burnley twice, have Sunderland, Leeds, Wolves in their next seven. I think
Yeah.
they're definitely a team, especially with their attackers, that you can. Multimad, I know Visa has come back, but if Gordon or Barnes, and Gordon has taken penalties, that's the reason I was thinking about him. I think definitely a team too, and Burn up plays almost every game. So in their
Dude, have
defense.
you seen Voltemara take a penalty?
Oh yeah,
It's
I
such
actually
an
tweeted about it. A very
insanely
technique.
beautiful penalty. And
But
then
the
Gordon
technique is
picks up the
very
ball, and I'm
unique.
like, dude, let him take it.
Top
But his
wins.
technique is extremely different,
Beautiful.
and yeah, I know, and the kick looks very unique. But yeah,
Yeah.
I if you and all three of us play, right, so that if you go and try that on a field, the fact that his left leg is, or left foot is facing the sun and the right foot kind of goes the other way, it's like your foot is totally in a different direction, and yeah, it's amazing. It's quite a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, so I agree. That's why I went with Voltemada. The fixture blocks look good from the long term, and hopefully he
Yeah.
can keep his spot because I think he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's had a good start.
Any other highlight teams to highlight from a fixture block point of view, apart from obviously best picks, the top teams?
I think the rest
I
are
think
good.
Brentford
Fulham would win,
looks
yeah.
like that's why people went with
Yeah,
Brentford right now because they have Leeds, Wolves,
Thiago, yeah.
Bournemouth, and stuff. And then Crystal Palace have a couple of difficult fixtures, but after that, their fixtures also turn better. One team I think who are on the up, fixtures might are not supportive, but Aston Villa, they've won
Hmm.
9 out of their last 10 games, and they have a mixed bag of fixtures, and hence they're not so popular at the moment, but they still have West Ham away coming up. So, anyways, moving on to another Lego money chart, which from a shows how like the recovery period between games basically. So we're in Game Week 16 now, 15 is done, so you can ignore this part. Um, so Game Week 16 is coming up, and then all these top five teams you see, they have a UCL game today basically, or yesterday, and so you have 3 days gap at max. But after that, it looks pretty much okay till Game Week 18. So 2 game weeks we have a bit of a rest. Actually, no, like we do have these EPL fixtures. Um, Carabao Cup
Yeah,
with Man City, Chelsea, and Newcastle, and the red color means there's just a 2 day gap in between. So there's some rotation to be expected, but Man City play. They have a very easy fixture. I don't know what Chelsea and Newcastle fixtures look like. All right, let's talk about some of the game week 16 stats. Essen fixtures to target. Oh, you're on mute.
yeah. Uh, I think this week, this is a week to target Arsenal. As much as Arsenal attack you can, you'll have to play. And again, I think I'm on the side of going a bit all in because you have 5 transfers now, and if you are able to gather as much data and information in fixtures where you know the team is, so Arsenal is 2.71 right against Wolves for example. If you are able to get on two attackers in this fixture, and like again the chunks that we were seeing for say Newcastle, for say Fulham, where you know they are playing the bottom three XG sides, and target fixtures where you know they are likely to score 2 goals, because you have 5 transfers, you will be able to hop onto people which you would otherwise not. So, for example, Eze, like we discussed, for example, a Merino, who if he starts playing as a striker, I would target those and kind of gain those massive ranks. So to me, this week is primarily uh, target Arsenal, target. I know Liverpool is 2.21, but I'm still not too confident on them against Brighton because I think Brighton don't play that badly. And I see them scoring one, maybe two, but their goals do get spread. And then United, you have Bruno for sure, and if Mbumo stays back, and Cunha as your players to target. And defensively, again, Arsenal will definitely be one. Wolves haven't scored goals at all, so if you can go, if
They're yet
Timber is,
to win a game.
yeah, exactly. So if you don't want to take on their attacking options, you can take on their double defense based on what Timber shows up and Raya. So get a defender, get Raya. I think take it, take it with you till game week 30. I
Yeah.
believe that's how strong you can be.
Another thing that comes out to me is a lot of clean sheet fixtures. So um, Fulham 36% CS
Yeah,
odds, Aston Villa is more than 30%, Newcastle is more than 30%, Brentford is more than 30%. So even City is at 30%. So um, I guess we expect to see more clean sheets this season, this game week.
yeah, that's a good point. Even Chelsea's 39, so yeah, it's a pretty high number.
All right, fixtures to target. I think we've covered most of it. Um, so like moving on. Hassan, you had some ideas regarding some of the chips discussion. So Some people still have chips left. I have bench boost left. I don't know about you guys. I think Essen's done with all his chips. So what should we do, people with chips left?
Yeah, yeah, I've used all my chips, and I think barring free hit, I had a good success in all of them. In my bench boost, I think I had 16 points. Triple captain was, I think, the Burnley game, and wildcard helped me gain like 2.5 million, like in rank. Free hit was average, so would not say a lot. But those who do have their chips left, like because you only have game week 16, 17, 18, and 19 to play it. From game week 20 onwards, you will lose all of them. So like gaming 16, as I've mentioned here, is optimal for a free hit. Puneet discussed a few fixtures in the earlier slide that you can target. Like Arsenal triple up is easy. Fulham defense punts on players like Wilson, Jimenez is very easy. Brentford you can triple up. They have Leeds at home. You can have the likes of Thiago, Dango, and even a defender. Like even you can get a goalkeeper also. So if you have your free hit, you can play it in this game week. Gaming 17 is triple captain territory. Arsalan mentioned earlier that in the Lego Man's uh, stats that teams do have a bit of gap. So you can triple captain Haaland against West Ham at home. And with five free transfers available, if you have your wild card, you can sort of play it in the last week like a free hit, and then you can just use those free transfers, and keep your team as you want, given those block of fixtures. So yeah, not much room to really plan out your chip strategy. It's just about using one every week.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I think free hit, triple captain, and maybe wildcard bench boost in whatever week you think that you can pull it off. So yeah, not much to really plan it out as opposed to a huge block of fixtures from earlier.
Yeah, and me coming in from a person with bench boost left, I think 16, 17, 18, all of them are bench boostable because even your bench, like weaker teams, they have decent fixtures as well. So, for example, Burnley play Fulham at home this week. So, I think if you have Dubravka, that's playable
Yeah, not a bad
as
shot.
well. Or like in the next week, we have Sunderland versus Brighton. It's a decent game, I feel. So, anyways, you get the idea. And like 16, 17, 18, all of them, I think teams play weaker teams. Could be well. Sunderland play Leeds at home in game week 18. Burnley play Everton. Everton play. So yeah. Anyway, so that's about chip strategy. Let's wrapping up. Coming into captaincy. Uh, we see Arsenal expected to score 2.71 goals. City expected to score 1.8 goals. I'm only highlighting these two because I personally think Saka versus Haaland is the debate. You can also go Bruno. That's also a decent shout with 1.9 expected goals. So that's definitely possible. But just comparing Haaland and Haaland and Saka, Haaland has Haaland takes 50% of the goal share from Man City, and Saka takes roughly 25%. So, like, basically, if you do the math, it is not a lot to differentiate each other. um,
I think this week is purely a fixture based captaincy. Purely because we all know on form, Haaland is way more explosive. He has a very high ceiling. With Saka, you get the odd goal assist. You never see Saka go crazy with like a brace, assist, defcon, etc. With Haaland, it takes like maybe 20-30 minutes. He's 2-0, 3-0 up. And like Arsalan said, he has the cities, almost half of cities' goals are because of him. And in that Fulham game, I think he had one goal, two assists. He hit the crossbar. He hit the post. So that could have been a crazy haul also. So that's the kind of ceiling Haaland has. But this
mhm,
game week, and knowing also that Saka has been benched for the UCL game, his appeal just gets even stronger.
Mm.
yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
it just on that. Sorry, Ahsan, were you saying something?
No, no, I'm done. Abu,
No,
you say.
so this is so just on the data. I think this is such a good kind of calculation to have. If you round up Arsenal's and Man City's numbers, if Arsenal score 3 goals and Man City scores 2 goals, okay, I'm just rounding them up. You are expecting a goal return from Haaland, which is one because it's 50% likely, and
Hmm.
then you are expecting one. You said 25%, so 25% of 3 goals is less than one. So then
Yep.
automatically Haaland becomes. I mean, I know everyone is tilting towards Saka, and all the votes are going. I mean, I am currently on Saka, but I think Ahsan's points too make sense. There's a the upper ceiling of Haaland is
Yeah.
always
Higher.
scary. Yeah,
Yeah. And also, like, I'm taking into consideration that Crystal Palace are playing more defensively, especially with their players being out and injured.
yeah,
If you see if they see how they're playing and how they're setting up, it's more defensive and waiting for a counter opportunity. So I think they're more solid. But again, purely looking at weighted averages, if you multiply 3 by 25% and for
yeah.
Saka and compare it by 2 into 50%, Haaland will get 1 goal and Saka will get 0.7 goals, for example. Anyways, there's no wrong and right answer between these two this week, in my personal opinion. I'm currently on Saka. Uh, Looking at some of the projected data. So underlying data projects Haaland to score 7.4 points this week compared to Saka with a 6.5. But the difference here, if you see in the projections, Saka is expected 72 minutes. That's why it's at 6.5% in the projections. And then you also have Bruno and Boomer, etc. In terms of market odds from Solio Analytics, Saka is expected 6.9 points, then Bruno, and then Haaland. So different models say different things, but I think this is only obviously projected data, and in the game it could be anything else. But Haaland and Saka seems like an obvious choice. But you never know. Puneet captain Bruno Fernandes last week and just demolished his rank. What an amazing shout, by the way.
Yeah.
So just a shout out to Puneet for going against the herd and getting Bruno 18 pointer on his captain. Last point, we don't have Puneet's bus team unfortunately, but SN, you want to walk us through your transfers this week?
So one transfer that I did was I moved Senesi out for Delete for United's game against Wolves and West Ham. And FPL being FPL, Delete was out of the squad for both. So in one game I got Anderson's 0 pointer when City scored 5, and last week I got Anderson's 1 pointer when they lost 2-1 to Palace. So I'll probably be looking to move him out because not sure if he's starting again or not. So I might move Delete out to Vanderberg just because of the fixtures of Brentford. And I've already done one transfer, Mateta to Thiago, because Thiago was going to rise in price and Mateta was going to fall. So I saved about zero point 0.2 in transfer value there. And knowing that Brentford don't have a game midweek, so I think it was a no-brainer. The other is I'm looking, and I'm forced to make that transfer because I got in Shada last week for Semenyo when they played Spurs away. So he picked up a yellow card and is now suspended for the juicy fixture against Leeds. So I'm forcefully making a transfer. But like we discussed earlier, Eze is benched for the UCL game, so I can just go from Sar to Eze as a long-term pick also and get that Wolves triple up for Arsenal. And captaincy obviously is on Saka. So I'll be using like 3 of my 5 free transfers and carrying forward 2.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think attack attack it, because you if you're in millions, which most of us are
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
this is your time to attack.
for sure.
For me, I've already made one transfer. I've made Mbumo to Bruno Fernandes from the 5 free transfers, and I'll use one more, and I'll move Igdal to Anderson probably. And that's more of a long-term pick, but I'm also thinking from a POV that I have bench boost left, so I'm trying to get 15 solid players and I'll probably bench boost in game week 18. That's my target game week, and then I'll take money out when necessary. So I'll be rolling with 3 full free transfers. Um,
Yes.
any suggestions for the team, by the way?
I think not for now. I think your Ronaldo, if he doesn't start, you might have to think of him when you take a bench boost.
Hmm.
And I think rest of the team looks good. I'm very happy that you have Voltemade. I think that's a great, both of you have. So it's a really good.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
I
sure he's
got
going to
him.
become.
Yeah, I moved him. I think me and Arsalan both. got him in. I removed Joe Pedro for it, and like it was very important because Joe Pedro was just lingering on, and Multimata actually had great fixtures.
Yeah. All right. Puneet's team.
Yeah, very quickly. So I have Raya in goal, Virgil, Timber, Mukiele, Minte Fernandez, Foden, Saka, Anderson, Thiago, Haaland. I've made my transfer from Mateta to Thiago before the price raise. Dubravka, Rodon, Senesi, Marshall on the bench. So I want to improve my defense. Most likely, I'm thinking of transfers for Mukiele, Rodon, or Senesi. I just noticed that Mukiele last two game weeks hasn't given. Although I am playing him this time because I want to. Sunderland are playing at home and it's a derby for Sunderland. So let's see how that goes ahead. But yeah, that's my in the next 2 or 3 game weeks. Those will most likely will be Minte and defensive transfers is where my eye is on.
Yeah.
How do you feel owning Virgil?
See if Liverpool improve. I mean, very tentative right now. I will not lie because he's also 5.9, so it's a lot of money in the.
Hmm.
And but again, he gives me a direct route to Munoz, so I wouldn't. The moment
Who
Munoz
knows?
is
Yeah.
fit, I'll just swap him away. So that's
And
it.
I
So
would
like
I
two.
would recommend just keeping Senesi. He's still,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, he's his.
Interesting.
Yeah. United away, and then I think he has Burnley at home the next game
That's
week in
correct. Yeah.
17. I think,
Yeah.
yeah. So if not for a clean sheet for the United game, Defcon for sure.
Defcon. Yeah. That's a good point. Would you start Mukiele
Senesi
or
is the
not?
number one. He's has received the most DEFCON points in this game
Yeah.
till now. 22 DEFCON.
Would you start him over Mukiele then this game week?
It's
50-50.
see. Do you expect Newcastle to not score?
Like
Let's go.
like
For
Puneet, you're happy that me and Arsalan have Voltamada. So
yeah.
there's a reason for that happiness.
That's true. That's true. That's
See,
Yeah.
if you look here, right, worst attacks and worst defenses, Sunderland are still like
yeah.
top six. But
Top.
again, it's a derby, so you can't really
So
say anything.
Hmm.
But
plus you can use the Newcastle game of tonight as a litmus test, knowing
Okay.
that Newcastle are playing full strength. How do they fare?
mm,
Because they have like their attackers fit. I think Gordon is back, Barnes is there, Wissa is there, Ultimata is there. So I think they have their full strength attack. So it will be an explosive game. Derby is always full of emotions. I think the worst outcome you can expect is probably a 1 pointer or 2 pointer, and the middle outcome will be like he won't get a clean sheet, but he will get defcons. So if
yeah,
that's the
four
case,
points.
yeah, so if that's the case, you can obviously just start Senesi, who is more guaranteed to give you a DEFCON. And you never know with United, you've seen it yourself. Similarly to Chelsea, they play some very good games, they play some very bad games out of nowhere. The Everton game, they lost 1-0. Yeah, it was just very random. So if it's really about DEFCON and no clean sheets, then I think you could just pivot
Good
towards
point.
Senesi, who's more of a guaranteed person to give you the DEFCON.
It's a good
And I
point.
think he was subbed off just after the 60-minute mark. That's why he got clean sheet against Chelsea. And so just wait for the press conference. If he's fit, then you can really start him if you're not making any transfer.
I want to save obviously because I want to then like Arsan also mentioned, right? Virgil van Dijk not sure, Minte I'm not sure. So then there are multiple players I want to move away
Yeah,
from.
Nico
So
O'Reilly is an option as well.
exactly that is
Munoz is
the
an
Exactly.
reason I
option, but
asked you
Munoz
about
is out,
Guardiola.
so
Yeah,
maybe
you
not.
can even get Guardiola because you have the money.
Yeah, for Virgil, yes.
Yeah, you can get Guardiola. So
All
he's your
right,
cash cow.
I think that's the pod.
It is.
Yeah.
It was a great thing, man. That,
All
the
right,
numbers and
it's been a
the
while.
discussion was
It was
lovely.
great to be back, guys, and hopefully we keep it up. Thank you for watching, whoever did, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you in the next week, and may your arrows be green.
Yes. And we'll be having a game week 16 thread just before kickoff. So we'll have updates on tonight's UCL fixtures, Thursday, Friday, Europa and Conference League fixtures, all FPL related, and any early team news or further injury updates. So you can just find like a summarized version of our video with some extra info just a few hours before kickoff.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right. Follow us on Twitter and X. Thank you all, and see you next week. Bye bye. Take care.
Okay, guys,
Thank
see
you.
you.